Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode, Penny Stocks Live, the American Investor Show. This is episode 283. You guys know who I am. I'm your guide through the markets, ladies and gentlemen, here on YouTube, trying to, do what I can to keep us all on the straight and narrow, making gains on the stock market. Shout out to everybody in the chat room watching now and in the future. Felt like a long weekend. I don't know what it is. It just felt like a really long weekend. The weekend is the only time I really get jealous of the Bitcoin traders, because you guys get to trade pretty much 24/7. So glad that the weekend is behind us, and now we are, able to play ourselves. Great day today. Great day on the markets. Shout out to everybody who jumped into black box stocks. It's been just ripping. It's been ripping these last couple of days. Very rarely do you have 2 days in a row where the top gainer is the same, Friday and Saturday. Friday and Monday. Friday and Monday. Shout out to the people in the chat room. Good, and Leon. I'm glad you got the alert. Who was the first one in the building? Hams Beer. What's going on, Bill Betts? Shirley Lewis, Juan Diaz, Patrice Jameson. What's going on? Callie Rob, what's up? Juan Diaz, Stockefeller, Raybo, Georgia General, Big Ken the Barber, George M., Woody Wright, Dr. Butterfly, hello. Corey Kwan, Eban R. All right, a couple new names. And, of course, some of the people who've been around. So let's get to it. You guys already know what the line number is. Let me make sure am I logged in here to Skype. Yes, I am. 305-600-2896 is the line if you want to call in with their ticker. Let's get to it. Title of the show today, 7 biotech stocks with clinical trial outcomes in March. Now, you guys love the biotechs. I'm not a fan of that crap, but I know many of you guys love biotech stocks. And the number one article today on one of my favorite websites, Benzinga, that's, by the way, gotten a lot more into the small cap stuff recently, because that's where all the energy is. That's where all the smart traders are moving to. 7 biotech stocks with clinical trial outcomes in March. I'll give the link in the chat room. I'll also have it in the description for those of you guys watching it in the future. Look into the description. I'll have it there. There it is in the chat room. But again, I will put it in the description. 7 biotechs with clinical trial outcomes. A few of these are large caps. We got a few small caps in here. One of them in particular that really stuck out for me. And again, that's the only thing, is that a lot of them are relatively thinly traded. And that's something to be expected, as many of them have been in the lab and they really don't put out that much news. But IMGN, now this is an $11 stock. This is a company that's got already a pending partnership agreement with Merck. Those of you guys who don't know what Merck is, multiple billion-dollar company. IMGN already, I would say, in the baby billions. All right, it's got a $1.4 billion market cap, but still, only $11 right now. But the potential for this company to hit on this phase 1 Keytruda drug, and those of you guys who haven't already heard of it, I'm sure you've heard something about it. It's an ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, relapsed endometrial cancer. I know what ovarian cancer is. Somebody's going to have to inform me on the endometrial cancer, relapsed endometrial cancer. What do they mean by that? But anyway, this could be a game-changing thing for this particular company. Date expected is March 24th to the 27th. That's the expected day that the phase 1B clinical trials data is said to be released. As you can see here, investors are not waiting. Stock up 4% today, basically on no news. All right, so no news. Article did come out this morning. I see it already posted here under news on TradingView. So that's moving the stock higher. But the stock's been moving higher since the beginning of the year. So pay attention to that. IMGN is the ticker. Nice little buy and hold stock. You got a few, red days in here, but for the most part, it's got a nice trend to it. All right, it's got a very nice trend to it. Here's the 50. 50 is a bit too far. Let's go to 21. All right, nice little 21. There it is. 21 is actually perfect on it. Look at that 21 moving average. Sitting perfectly on the stock. Funneling a little bit today. You're flagging a little bit, but again, I can think you break out higher until you test those 12s. What's going on, Bad Scientists? Yes, very similar to what Pred is working on. Very similar. Yeah, Bats. But the problem is, maybe I didn't, maybe because I didn't see the word endometriosis, so I didn't connect it to Pred. But now that you brought up Pred, brings it back to my attention. Again, Pred, a stock that I guess couldn't fall in love with again after what had been happening over, again, several days. Again, the stock like this, you got to kind of look at the weekly. I couldn't fall in love with this stock again. I was, really thinking that maybe this week we can start to rebound after last week's price action in Pred. Took a lot of heat, by the way, for telling people to sell. Got a lot of hate email. Hey, why are you telling your people to sell? Well, that was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. All right, so we're still waiting for Pred to really show some kind of momentum going higher, that this is in fact the real deal. So all right, you got a lot of profit, of course, profit takers. All right, let's get back higher. We'll see. No gain, no loss today on PRED. All right, let's get to your tickers now in the chat room. By the way, I did see that SRMX patent protection. I know nobody talks about SRMX anymore, but they got a patent protection thing today. SRMX OTC stock. I know some of you guys are iffy about those, but I'm watching that for the balance, because again, when you talk about stocks that actually have decent volume, I'm watching it, seeing how player traders like the news. We're seeing a bounce also in marijuana stocks. We're seeing quite a bit of a bounce in marijuana stocks. A lot of these I kind of wrote off on my website, Advanced Equity Research, CANN. Again, it's really interesting. I mean, from the low threes, right? 310. Now we're looking at 380 on CAN, CNBX. I mean, across the board, slight bounces on marijuana stocks. Hopefully, you guys are catching that. CNBX, CANN. I think CBDS. Took a look at that. Well, CBDS. Nope. Oh, that was actually still red. What was the other one? Was it hemp? I saw one. Yeah, well, I think it might have been hemp. But there's another. Let me see. No, that's the U.S. version of hemp. What's the U.S. version of hemp? Okay, I think it was hemp. All right, but we have a slight bounce going on right now in marijuana stocks. I don't know what's that about. Yeah, super dilution on SRMX. That's what I'm looking to see if somebody picks up those shares, Adeleon. What's going on, Ann Bullard? He said POTN tanked. Well, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. POTN. Stock got to $1 and gave up. You know, when we talk about, you know, those sentimental markers, you know, 1 penny, 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, $1. Those are really huge markers. And failure to reach those and hold those can sometimes, you know, find traders to you know, who decide just to give up. And it looks like POTN is just basically kind of what that happened. I mean, it had been trying to hold the 50s, and it wasn't doing a good job of trying to fight to get back there. And, you know, you held 50 cent for, what, 2 or 3 days? And eventually, you know, all is lost. POTN down 20% today. Now, here's the thing, though. You know it's going to come back, obviously. But where's the floor? I don't know. I'll flush it. I got to flush it, though. I still got to flush it, though. You know. What's going on, Gucci? What's Fred's prediction? I still think Fred can be a buyout target. I still think Fred could be a buyout target. But, I mean, damn. Can we get out of the 3? Can we get out of $3? Can we even get back to $3? CBIS. Cannabis Science. Yeah, there we go. CBIS. Thank you for bringing that up, Jeff. Me and Marine Jeff there over there. CBIS. Thank you for bringing that up. There's another marijuana play I'm forgetting right now. Is it CVIS? No, I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting another. Or is it CVSI? I think it's CV. There you go. CVSI. So across the board, turn around or whatever going on. Maybe they're just so beat up, people want to buy them again. I don't know what that's about. But, you know, interesting to see what's going on right now in marijuana stocks. Mr. Baptiste with NIHD. Here's the thing on NIHD. Shout out to all the people who got those videos. I hope you really looked over those videos. And he talks about, you know, using that RSI crossover. Because when you look at NIHD on the hourly, this is basically where you had to kind of pick it up at. Right? You saw it cross on the hourly back on the 23rd, and it stayed bullish again at being above this 50 RSI level since then. And it's enjoyed a relatively nice ride since those levels. Now, if you got in a little bit, you have to go way back when to hit it on the daily. All right. Way back. When was this back? December the 12th. So still very bullish on the December the 12th. All right. If you're going on the long-term charts or these longer time frames. But on a shorter time frame, the big recent move was back there on the 23rd. Still holding those RSI levels relatively well. I mean, we could have some weakness developing in here as the lines, these moving averages get really tight to each other like that. All right. The thing about MACD is the strength is when these show a very nice gap in either direction between each other. What's going on, David? David from Investors Hangout in the building. I see you in there. Appreciate it, man. Let me give him a round of applause. David in the chat room. You guys already know the website, investorshangout.com. Yes, indeed. Dr. Butterfly said, don't flush it on POTN. You said you're holding too much. Ah, man, I hate to see anybody holding a stock that's selling off, but I think you're going to get a nice bounce here on POTN eventually. You know, look, if you can get a bounce in a stock like WNDW, you know, this is a stock that I shitted on, you know, a couple days ago. If you can get a bounce like this on a stock that, you know, hasn't ever generated any revenues in about three years, not $1. I wrote on this on my website, not $1 in revenues. Stock went from literally 50 cents to $11 or $12. $10.50. Stock sold off from 8 to about 4, and then you got a bounce from 3s to 560s in 2 days. WNDW. So you're going to get a bounce in POTN. That's a real company, man. That's a real company. David said you've been busy, been hard to stop. Hey, man, that's cool. I appreciate you, David. I know you're running a huge website. You're running a huge website, man. I appreciate you stopping by and blessing me with your presence, man. Yes, indeed. And now you're running it by yourself, so I understand. You know. No, we didn't talk about RNVA, but shout out to RNVA. I wrote about this stock as well on my website, advancedequityresearch.com. I was a little bit early though. I was a bit too early. I think I wrote, if you go on my website, I wrote about it at around maybe 2 cents. All right, it got me on that one. It got me on that goal. I was thinking it was a possible breakout higher, and then but you saw, you know, the stock was really in that death spiral, man. You know, when you got that cheap paper, and you got holders who aren't interested, who could care less about whether or not there's a turnaround. That's basically what happened. And here you have RNVA again. You know, pull out that hourly chart. You know, especially when you're talking about these buy and hold stocks, not an intraday move. Again, you know, you're looking at an hourly chart and you're looking to swing this thing. And as you can see here, I mean, you know, way to really come out of those, you know, late Februaries. You see the RSI building up here, volume building. Stock broke out above that 50 RSI level, and here you go. Here you go. Can I get a crossover on the 5 and 10? Where did that happen at? All right, where did that happen at? Somewhere around here, you saw the crossover into bullish territory back on March 1st. Back on March 1st. All right, 4 and 8 is fine. 5 and 10, I mean, basically the same thing. Nice run, though. Nice run on RNVA over the last couple of days. Huge gain. I mean, well over 100%. That's about 120% since the 28th. 919 Bats. What's up, man? You're on the air.
Hey, Sal. How's it going, sir?
Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Everything is well.
Excellent. Right now, let's talk about EGO.
Okay.
Canadian Gold, EGO, EGO.
Yes, indeed. All right. So EGO, nice chart here. I like what we're seeing here on the daily. What are you seeing in this chart?
Oh, everything. So remember, because of my situation, I can only hold a stock for 30 days or more.
Mm-hmm.
So got into this one 2 weeks ago, and I can only get out of it in 2 weeks. So remember my post-earnings sell-off bullish reversal strategy?
Yes.
Pretty much right now I have 2 weeks. What I'm predicting will happen, or what I'm wanting to happen here, is in the next 2 weeks, I think I have until about the 21st or the 22nd of March to sell. And if you look at gold, this is Canadian gold, but you look at JNAG, I believe, you look at NUGT, the ETF, you notice like gold, at least the gold ETFs are kind of at a low RSI support right now.
Yeah.
But specifically with EGO, this one I can see going to about $1.30. I think it closed at $1.14 today. Mm-hmm. I can see it closing at $1.30 or $1.40 on the day before earnings. So I'm using this. I'm using this strategy, assuming that the stock will actually go up into earnings, and then I'll sell it just before earnings.
Now, I love the fact that you got the MACD crossover here on the daily as well. You're basically just playing it again into earnings, just the idea of the excitement of the announcement. Basically, that's kind of what the gist of your
So just as a recap, because my wife works for Chase, I can't buy and sell a stock within 30 days. I have to hold it for at least 30 days. So I was looking at dividends and earnings, and then before I knew it, I noticed a pattern that after earnings a lot of the stocks sell off after earnings. And I noticed that if they sell off and they hit a bottom and start reversing, all you have to do is actually just get back into the stock after earnings and after it hits a bottom and just hold it into earnings, but sell before earnings, because then again the cycle repeats itself. Most stocks will actually sell off. So that's how I got into it. It ended up working quite nicely for me because it's a perfect way of getting into a stock. I've also noticed that let's say earnings is today. Normally, if it's a sell-off, it probably happens within the first month, and then the remaining month or 2 months, that's when you basically get into it after a bottom is formed. So EGO, I went into EGO. I'm in EGO quite heavy, 10 grand in that one. But I'm very confident that it will start actually going up into earnings. And like I said, that's in 2 weeks. It could actually, go up faster than that, but I don't have the luxury of selling. I think if I was maybe in an options play, I might be tempted just to say screw it and just sell it and prepare for the consequences.
Right.
So I'm looking at EGO, Canadian gold, and I've talked about this a few times. South African and Canadian gold seems to behave differently from just like U.S. gold stocks. I've noticed I don't know what it is, maybe the exchange rate, the dollar to the Canadian dollar and so on, but these are really, really solid stocks. The other Canadian gold stocks that you might want to look at is ABX, Alpha Bravo Xylophone, ABX. And once again, you'll kind of see that you're getting some kind of a bounce and a kind of a bottom. You see, if you can see what I'm seeing, you had that dragonfly doji a couple of days back. And now this, to me, looks like a reversal pattern. But, I mean, obviously, depending on your risk, you might want to give it a day or two extra. Some people like to see at least, consecutive second and third days. But for me, because of my strategy, I think this is the bottom. So I'd be, thinking about getting in. So, first stock would be EGO, this one, ABX, and then I've got some options plays for you, sir.
All right, let's go and take a look at that. I really like the ABX because I know that Dragonfly Doji, even if it was a hammer signal, I mean those two alone, or just a regular Doji or long-legged Doji, that you're absolutely right, man. That could be very well a signal that there could be a change coming here on ABX. In fact, if we look, you can see it on the hourly charts too, as momentum is slowly coming back into ABX. Nice play. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and so at least, I mean, on your graph, where it's misleading, like a lot of the graphs don't actually show earnings, and you can see it right there, like after each earnings, just wait for it to form a bottom. When it starts reversing, which is typically 3 weeks to 1 month, don't ask how I figured that out, because it lots of looking at charts and stuff. Yeah. In the first month after earnings, you get, if the stock sells off, it normally forms a bottom, and then in the remaining 2 months leading into earnings, you see the stock go up, or at least in the last month. Okay, so ABX is looking good, and like I said, I'm in EGO. Let's get to the options plays quickly. Right now, what's looking really good is NFX. N is in nice, F is in Frank, X is in xylophone. NFX. It's a $20-something stock.
Okay, NFX. I see you.
Correct.
All right, Bats, I got you on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, so this one, once again, post-earnings, you'll see like the sell-off. You get that traditional post-earnings sell-off, and now trying to get the bottom, establish where the bottom is, and just get into this one. So this one would make a very nice options play. I don't have do you have information as to when the next earnings will be for this one? I don't have my.
Well, this one just had one back on the 20th. February 20th of just past February, a couple weeks ago. Actually, about a week and a half ago. So NFX. So yeah, just coming off an earnings announcement. So typically 90 days. So now we're looking at possibly May, early June.
Okay, cool. So it might be a little premature on this one because it looks like it's forming like a consolidation zone. But I would say if it then has another green day tomorrow, it might be good. Yeah, because with earnings, I've noticed like when you do get the rebound, it normally takes a few weeks after that. Mm-hmm. If you get in too early, it might be a little premature. But anyway, NFX is a good one. But I have a better one than this, and that's CVS.
Oh, CVS, the small...
The pharmacy, CVS.
Definitely not a small company, though. $68 billion market cap. What do you see with this, Bats?
Same thing, post-earnings. I mean, I pride myself with this strategy because you don't require to know technicals. You don't require to know fundamentals. This is strictly visuals. As long as your chart shows when earnings is, anyone can tell, okay, looks like it hit a bottom, looks like it's reversing. And this one I'm really, really confident about because reading more into it, assuming that, Trump's tariffs take full effect, something like a CVS, and you've talked about one of them, Dollar Tree, where these stocks are, if there's tariffs and protectionism, and during a trade war, something like a CVS, something like a Dollar Tree will do well. So anyway, ignoring that, once again, it's just simply that this one has earnings coming up. I'm not sure when. I wish I had my laptop up because then I would say exactly when earnings was. But essentially, you're just holding into this, holding on to this one until earnings, and then getting out before earnings under the assumption that there could be an earnings sell-off. Now, sometimes you get companies that do well, and they, earnings go after earnings, it goes up, but if that happens, then I don't take the trade. I'm only looking for sell-offs after earnings, finding the bottom, and then riding off of that. Last one, and you'll notice the oil. This is an oil stock, but you can look at any of the others. They might also look good. This is Marathon Oil, MRO.
MRO. Okay, interesting stock. We brought this up a couple weeks ago when we talked about
it's
possible
looking
rebound.
lovely.
Not bad. Yeah, very nice on MRO.
As I say, like when I tweet, I say it looks delicious. When I say it looks delicious, that means I really like it. But yes, same thing. Post-earnings sell-off, hits rock bottom, bullish reversal, get into the stock and don't even look back. I mean, right now I'm just waiting for some money to clear. I will play within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I will play a $10,000 options play. I will. But before that happens, I'm looking at all these stocks and studying them and seeing which ones are renowned for bouncing back. Once again, with my strategy, you want to probably pick something like an S&P 500 or S&P 100 or the NASDAQ 100 stocks because you want a company with a high market cap that performs time and time again. You don't want an unknown company or kind of like a biotech. I noticed at the beginning of the show you said you don't like biotechs, and that's the very reason, because they're just unpredictable.
They're unpredictable, absolutely.
If you want biotech or healthcare, when you play options, look at the S&P 500. Play something like a Pfizer, a Johnson and Johnson, something that's tried and tested.
True, yeah, a Merck or something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Celgene, CELG, that's a great one to play if you want to go, options play on, something in the healthcare field. Excellent one to play. That's another one that I'm watching. But, yeah, I don't want to hog the show, but essentially, yeah, easy strategy. Look for stocks that have had earnings. So what I'm actually doing now in anticipation of the next cycle of stocks coming through, I'm looking at all the stocks that should be getting, reporting earnings maybe a month from now, and then basically looking for where they are in terms of RSI, because there's some even that you can get into a week before. I'm trying to think, there's something that's posting earnings next week that you can get into. I think it's KLDX, but don't take my word for it because I'm just going off of memory. But
okay.
If ever dividends are up or earnings is more of a monumental kind of thing. But
yeah.
Even with dividends, stocks will tend to trade up towards dividends and then sell off. I called it on Dries. I've called it on dozens of others. This is just a regular pattern that exists, and there's no voodoo science there or, rocket science. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. So, tomorrow or whenever, if I have better picks, just one last thing before I go. This could be blockbuster, but it didn't rebound when I expected to. That's the shipping stock, YRCW. This one will be huge if it can just turn around and go past $9. YRCW. I talked about it last week. This company has crappy fundamentals, like a lot of the shipping stocks. But if this thing turns around and you get like a $10 out of the money strike price on this one for April or May, this one will be huge. You can do the math on the options for this one because it's mad how much money. If this thing turns around and breaks through $9 and continues up, this one will be huge. Let me repeat that. This one will be huge. So I'm watching this one to just, I think it closed at 8 something. If it can breach $9 and definitely show a reversal, this one is my number one pick for a call options play, long call options play.
Bats, I gotta admit to you, man, a $30 million 30 million share float. Yeah, this could really fly if it does, in fact, get that kind of momentum behind it.
And you know what, Sal? It doesn't have to fly. Remember, what I'm looking at is it's trading up into earnings. It's going to do it because the reason why I even brought it up, it's post-earnings sell-off. It's now hit a bottom. Let it it just needs to come round and start going back up. A $10 out of the money call on this, even $11 or $12. Do the math. Do the math on potentially if it goes to $10 or $12, how much you could make off of this. So this is one to watch. I don't have any information on when earnings is. I wish, like I said, I had my laptop open, but this one will be huge if it starts going up. So don't say I didn't tell you guys, but this one will be huge if you can get into it. Okay? I think that's it, Sal. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bats. I appreciate you. Shout out to Bad Scientist, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Man, I mean, look, you can't pay for that kind of information. You can't pay for that kind of information. Got to give them the kids cheer. I appreciate you, Bad Scientist. I hope you guys wrote that down. We just went through almost 6 stocks right there. I appreciate you. All right. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. I know he'll keep an eye on it for us as well and call us back in. My next caller needs no introduction. Ken, what's going on, man?
That was great what Bat said. I've always looked at YRCW. That is an interesting one.
Yes, that's a very interesting one.
Yeah.
Low RSI coming out of some beat up areas. I think it could be huge as well with that low float.
Yeah, definitely. So I had a good day today. That Renova, the RNVA, I got into it at 008. So I'm make 25% any day.
Excellent stock. I mean, it's a former NASDAQ stock. I've explained the story. The company was a biotech. They went out and bought an old hospital that got closed down. They spent over $20 million renovating the hospital. The hospital is now back online. They got approved for Medicare, Medicaid, a lot of other insurance carriers, and now they're back on it. So can RNVA pick itself up? Last 3 days have been really good for it. Let's see if it can continue getting out of these low RSI areas. It's a really, really beat up stock. It's had a horrible 2016, horrible 2017, horrible 2018 for the most part until these last couple of days. So we'll see where RNVA can take this momentum.
Thank you. Let's go to the next one. This is one that you talked about last week with me, early last week, Boy, Paul, Mary, X-ray. And you said, Ken, that 200-day moving average at 30, whatever it was 30, it's not going to get through it, and then it'll have to consolidate. Well, it broke through it today.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. We were fighting it for 2 days and come to the rescue buyers, even on lower volume, lower than expected volume. It still managed to do it. Now, you got the doji candlestick, but look, you had the hammer 2 days ago. So what was that, Thursday? So, I mean, the doji candlestick was still one to pay attention to. But now, look, you got commitment above the 200. And, if it stays above it, who knows how much higher. Now, you're at 80 on the RSI. That's one to be aware of, but still, you got to be excited about that, man.
Also, but you got to be careful, as Bat said. The earnings conference call next Monday, 4:30 p.m.
I see that March 26th. I do see that.
Oh, that's 12th, March 12th. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
Let me confirm that real quick. What's the ticker here?
Today's BPMX.
Let me see. We're gonna confirm it right now. One of my favorite sites, Earnings Whispers. And they have that as March 22nd. March 22nd after the close. That's going to be Thursday here listed on earningswhispers.com.
Okay. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Well, that's good. It gives me some time. Maybe it'll go higher before.
Yes, indeed.
Let's go to the next one today. And idiot me sold it on Friday, RXMD. I mean, I was glad to make my 30%, but I could have made a lot more. And you and I talked about that one last week as well. That's that pharmacy company in South Florida.
I mean, yeah, this is crazy because when you talk about, again, being high on the RSI, you look at 80, 75, 77, you're like, okay, this is the time to possibly start, cashing out. And that's exactly what you did. But here we at 90 now on the RSI. And look, I've seen 110 on the RSI before. So if there are buyers, it'll go higher. And if they're not, if they don't care the fact that it's overly extended, but boy, what a candlestick. I mean, this is one of the biggest volatility days of that run, right? I mean, you got to look at it from where it kind of took off at back in January, from 2 cents a share to now 16 cents a share, Ken. The stock's up almost 900%.
God.
And what, 65 days? This is insane, man.
Insane, yeah. Right. The float's not that large either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, at least the market's hot. A lot of these stocks are running. There were a couple more. Remember last Thursday, what was it, LVVV, that's the marijuana one. They got that marijuana license, and the stock took off. It went up, so it came down a little bit, and now it hit a new high today.
Yeah, I saw that. Interesting, too. Another high volatility day. Marijuana across the board, we just talked about that, how you got a lot of volume coming into those plays. I think you got some stocks that are really beat up. I think people see some value in them. This one had a real decent story to play along with it, obtaining that cannabis cultivation permit from the city of Coachella, California. A lot of things going on in that city. Obviously, that big, huge concert they have there every year. So that's a big play for them.
Yeah, it is. And earlier today, I tweeted to you because I noticed the BTSC and the BTCS, they were at levels you had talked about on the show, around 9-10 cents, and they moved.
Yeah,
and I wonder if this day one.
This could be day one of a thing. And we had been talking about this. I fully expected a return in some of these Bitcoin stocks. Those of you guys who've been watching the show, you already know. We said, look, these are going to come back. All right, Bitcoin has been doing better, much better than expected over the last several, about week and a half as Bitcoin bounces. And now we're seeing somewhat of return in Bitcoin stocks. So BTSC a lot better than BTCS. I like BTSC a lot better, but again, both of them doing really, really good across the board today.
Yeah, it's
In fact, let me look at BITCF. That one, BITCF, is interesting because that one's supposed to be some kind of Bitcoin broker or some kind of Bitcoin marketplace, but I haven't contacted anybody who's actually used it, so I don't know if it's the real deal or not.
Wasn't there another one too? The DIGEF, DIGAF, I don't know.
AF or something like that. Let me see.
Yeah, that was a small float.
Yeah, Digitrade. All right, very similar chart to BTSC, so up 9% today. So actually, yeah, that's still out there. That's still out there.
Yeah, I mean I think it's a lot safer when instead of trying to chase the momentum on these pennies, we get in at these low levels.
At these low levels, and that's all you can do. I mean, open up a starter position, right? Couple hundred shares, nothing crazy, and then see what happens. Give yourself a stop loss or mental stop loss, being that they're pennies, and see what happens.
Yeah, so that's it. Really, that's it for tonight. But thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ken.
All right, have a good one.
All right, so Ken bringing up, a Biotech and several OTC Bitcoin stocks. Appreciate you for that. And speaking of earnings losers bats, I want you to take a look at Foot Locker. Let me know what you see in Foot Locker. Pretty liquid option, dumped big time for earnings on Friday, but we saw a bounce today. Kind of surprised me because you had mentioned that strategy last week, and I was looking, for Foot Locker to continue the selling. So it kind of caught me off guard today to see to see Foot Locker, being bought on the dip. So hopefully Foot Locker continues to go lower. I opened up a starter position in that. And Foot Locker. So I'm down right now. I don't like being down. All right, let's get back to the chat room. What's going on, Andrew? See Andrew Gladness in here. Let's take a look at some of the other pennies you guys are talking about in the chat room. Single Point, SING. Single Point, it's a blockchain stock too, right? Yeah, Single Point. I remember, they came out a couple of weeks ago saying they were doing something with the blockchain. I remember that. SING. Looks like they released some news today clarifying what exactly they plan to do. Looking to apply blockchain to the healthcare center with a new letter of intent. All right, so look that up. Single Point with some news earlier today. All right, interesting chart, up 5%. All right, you're at some nice little support here. Let's see if you can bounce off that. Love to see some more bullish momentum coming in here. All right. Right now, the RSIs and MACD still looking pretty flat. What's going on, Stockstar? BLCM. Nice trend coming in here. You got us a little bit late. But again, I love the trend. 2017, 2018, not too impressive. But for the most part, it looks like since the beginning of February, nice little trend here from that falling window. Let me know what happened there on BLCM. All right, you filled the gap pretty much now. You've pretty much filled the gap here. Where were you at there on there? You got to as low as 23 on the RSI. All right, got to as low as 23 on the RSI. Coming back out of those low fives, or 505, $5 even. Now 771 over the last, not even, about 30, 35 days. Not bad. BLCM. Strikeforce Technologies. Let me take a look at it. Real beat up stock. But again, and here's another one. Along with DTII, we kind of talked about this is probably where you want to pick these up. Right? These are kind of where you want to pick these up. And again, it's so, after a while, you just see the same things over and over again. Stocks that run, they sell off, nobody wants them. You pick them up when nobody wants them, and then here you are. Sitting on these gains today. Strikeforce Technologies. Wow, nice little play here again. Overly, here's the hourly. Penny stocks, not the biggest, not what you want to day trade, but boy, what a great swing trade from these low RSI levels. Again, picking them up when nobody wants them. Daily chart showing bullish momentum breaking here, back there on February the 9th. And here you are, swinging this above that 50 RSI line. It's been a great ticker for you. All right. That's 100% gain from those levels. Nice play. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, Monster Kill.
Monster Kill.
I'll give you that. Strikeforce Technologies. Nice play. Bullish belt hold on what, Lamprey? Woody Wright. Appreciate you, man. AIG. All right, AIG. Could that... Yeah, well, I like that, Woody Wright. I mean, he's basically going on bat sting there, right? We had the earnings early February. What is that day? February the 8th. Here's the sell-off. And AIG, great company, all right? Bat's talking about, again, buying these large cap companies. AIG, definitely one of the bigger ones. Bigger, $50 billion market cap. All right, it's a huge company. Got 50,000 employees. It's a big damn company. Yeah, this could be the beginning of something. Woody, right? And Bats, I'd have you take a look at it and see what he's showing here. Again, let me look at my hourly for the swing. And there it is. All right, so on the smaller time frame, getting rid of a little bit of the news, and then, not bad. As you can see here, where we went bearish and now getting back to some bullish momentum. March 5th, that is today at 10:30, stock crossed the 50 RSI and now getting back to some bullish momentum here on AIG. Could be a nice swing there. We can see where that took off there on the hourly. Not bad. Beautiful candlestick for today's move on AIG. You might have something there, Woody Wright. You might have something there. Matter of fact, I'm going to write that down because that's got some liquid options too. That's got some really liquid options. Last I checked. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quick. Let's go back to that hourly. If I remember correctly, AIG. Yes, I'm right. And they're dirt cheap too. Look at that. They're pretty dirt cheap. All right. I like the March 23rd. Give myself a little bit more time. So let me look at those April 20th. April 20th. I love the end of money. The end of money is not. Where is that at? $50 in the money. Going for about $7.95 for a $50. $50. That's a deep in the money call for $7. That's actually a pretty good deal. Obviously, if you come a little closer, you can get them cheaper, right? You come a little closer, you get them cheaper. Obviously, you got some risks there, but look at that. I'm looking at some $55, $54.50s. You want to trade where the liquidity is, but that's why I kind of like these, the monthlies. You got quite a bit of liquidity there with those traders who are willing to hold for a little bit longer. All right, let's keep it going. What's going on, David Lincoln? Appreciate you, man. Shout out to David Lincoln in the chat room. Check out his channel. You can just type in on Google, on YouTube, David Lincoln. We had a great interview. Check that out. I think that's going to be one of those interviews that, you know, in the future people turn into. And, you know, really kind of see the evolution of what I'm trying to do here. What's going on, Kenny Dutton? LTBR. LTBR is an interesting company because I want to say they were a former OTC stock. LTBR OTC. If I remember correctly, they were a former OTC stock. And then got uplisted. But here we have LTBR now kind of struggling, right? I mean, down 11% today. Let me know why you're bringing it up. Stock that had, you know, 2 days in a row looked like it was going, but sometimes you get that rejection. You kind of get that rejection of the bullish momentum. But again, it's not over yet, as you can still see here. Yeah, you had the red day, but for the most part, you still got some buyers in there. All right, you still got some buyers on there, and you could still have those buyers overwhelm that selling pressure tomorrow. Might not be over just yet. Kenny Dutton, MSPC. Anybody in here getting spoiled by Black Box? I feel like I'm just getting so spoiled by that software. You know, shout out to the people who signed up. I guess I looked under my name. I signed up like 40 people last month for Black Box. Incredible, man. People taking advantage of that and making money. Shout out to you. Options and stocks, by the way. Options and stocks. MSPC, 37.5% gain today. Again, you know, we're seeing some volume. We're seeing some volume in it. You know, here's the candlestick for today. It's really all over the place. A lot of volatility. All right. You're going to see this. We talk about this all the time, getting out of these triples. Right. You got holders in these lower levels. All right. So, you know, you got some guys up 700, 800%. They're going to take their profits. You got to overwhelm them. You got to have people who are going to want to hold to get to those higher levels. MSPC. Yeah, Bill Betts, I remember you saying that. That's always the missed opportunity, man, when you're talking about these OTC stocks that you notice that triple zeros. You slept on them, and now next thing you know, they're in the doubles or sometimes in the pennies, man. Appreciate you, Gerardo. That's the thing to do. It kind of makes you a little bit lazy, though. I got to get back to doing some real homework. You know, because I can't lie, though, man. Sometimes I just feel like there are really kind of two ways to win at this game, man. Either you're playing the intraday volatility on some kind of black box alert system, what I promote, or you're shorting pump and dumps, or you're buying your position trading, swing trading, low RSI, you know, beat up kind of stocks. That's really the only way to kind of play these things. You know. Shout out to Connor, by the way. He got made like $8,000 today. He showed me he contacted me on Friday, and he told me about this weekly paycheck system where basically all he's doing is basically selling out of the money calls. And he's doing it on Friday, which means, you know, there's not much on him. So it's only a couple $100 every Friday. But, you know, there's a lot of people who could use a couple $100 every Friday. But here's the thing. It requires quite a bit of margin to do so. So it's not a strategy. If you got less than $25,000, it's not even a strategy that you can honestly employ. Because it does require quite a bit of margin. A lot of guys do it on Monday. They'll sell a deep out of the money call on a Monday and then watch it kind of wash away by the end of the week. And David, I don't know if you're still in the chat room, David Lincoln. I want to have you on the show here in the future, man, because we got to talk about trading volatility. I want to explain that to my audience and ways they can possibly make some money from doing that. What's going on, Stock God? Those of you guys who don't know, David Lincoln is a former floor options market maker in Chicago. So I want to have him definitely on my show so we can talk about opportunities you guys might have to make money in that side of trading. All right, not to confuse you, but just to really introduce something different. CRON Chronos Group. CRON Chronos Group. Follow Chronos with NASDAQ Lincoln. This is also a marijuana stock, right? This is I remember somebody introducing me to this last week as a marijuana stock. I'm seeing here also talking about Canopy Growth coming to NASDAQ. That could be very well. Canopy Growth right now trading on OTC markets. All right, David, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, let's do that. Probably do it for us as soon as this weekend if you're up for it. Raybo, you said I would never pay for anything. Yeah, I would never pay for somebody to teach me how to trade. Hell no, I would never pay for that. I'd never pay for anybody, $1.99, $2.99. But if you want to charge me $3 a day to tell me within the first 2 minutes of the market day what's hot and what's not, I'll pay for that. For $3 a day, I'll do that. And then I can piggyback the trade, and you're going to tell me what the hottest option trade is as well. I'll do that. Come to find out, what the owners are telling me is that what guys are doing is that they're, quote unquote, giving their people alerts for $1.99, $2.99, but they're signed up to Black Box, and when Black Box puts out the alert, then they put it to their people. So they got 400, 500 people paying $1.99 to a guy who's getting his alerts from Black Box for $79. That's what they're doing, dude. Somebody call me from 210. Call me back, 210. I just missed your call. Call me back. Callie Robbie said Crone was a name change. Yeah, I'm thinking it was a name change as well, too. 210, you're on the air. What's going on?
It's me, Gerardo.
Hey, Gerardo, what's up, man? Appreciate you for calling.
Hell yeah, anytime. I've been watching your show. I've been watching that. The Black Box thing, I was kind of waiting to see if you were going to still keep using it. It would be a good sign for investing money into and getting into. But so you're still using it?
Hell yeah, I'm using it every day, man. In fact, like I said, I feel like I'm getting a little bit lazy on my homework because it's a little bit, too easy sometimes. But what I need to start doing is actually start getting into those positions a lot larger, because I'm just waiting for the product to fail me, but it hasn't done it just yet. So I know it's not going to be accurate 100% of the time, because nothing is. But for the most part, it is really good at finding that money maker for the day every single time.
Of course. Cool. Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, I've been trying to get into options, but I got approved for an options account with what is it, Ameritrade or something, and E-Trade, and man, I've been paper trading options, and I don't know if it's I don't know what the hell I can't hit. I mean, I can read the charts, small cap stocks and stuff. I have no problem, but when it comes to options, man, I just I don't know.
It's definitely a different ball game, bro. And don't rush into it, man. It's a different kind of risk. In fact, I want to say it's a little bit more risky, especially when you start talking about trading these weeklies and ones that are expiring same day. I mean, it's a different kind of level.
That's
of
what
risk.
I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to do. That's no wonder.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
hard? That's
yeah.
hard?
I don't trade weeklies. I just think they make me too nervous. They go up and down too fast. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
I
okay.
like
I know you always say that. Go, to get something a month out or at least 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out.
Yeah, because they act a lot more like stocks. I mean, when you're putting in an option that's got 6 months, 7 months, 3 months, it trades a lot more like a stock does. So yes, it's going up and down in value, but it's not so crazy like a weekly is. Something expiring, and then plus if you go really crazy and you're doing like an out the money option, I mean that time value on a weekly is just insane. So I just can't do those kind of trades.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you taking my call. I just have those 2 quick questions, and keep up the good work, man. Appreciate
it, man. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Yes, indeed. One a loyal listener right there, Gerardo. Yeah, guys, I'm not afraid to tell you if I can't do something. I love saying I don't know. I love saying I don't know. I don't like being like I know. I don't know is very powerful because it tells you that you need to either go get that information or to someone else to give you the information. So, when it comes to trading options, weeklies, I don't know how to do that successfully. I have not been able to, meet anybody with a weekly trading strategy that is, effective time and time again. I haven't met one guy. 250, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Sal, it's John Rambo. How's it going?
Hey, John, what's going on, man?
Just chilling, man. Hitting that vape pen, watching the show,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Hey, man, I got a couple stocks for you.
Let's go over them.
All right. Well, I called last Thursday about that CSOL, that China solar ticker.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. It's, it's so crazy. I did see that on Friday.
Yeah, man, that was nuts. I woke up in the morning, the thing was just ripping.
Here's the thing, John, because it was so freaking suspicious. Hey, man, are you a promoter? Are you involved in anything like that?
Yo, I should be.
Okay, because that was just way. I was like, dude, he just talked about that. Now it soars.
Yeah, man. Well, these are the ones that are on my list, right? The ones that come back to life. And it was just sitting there on my watch list, and then all of a sudden, all this volume came in. So I'm like, all right, I'll jump in, and wake up the next day. Thing goes to 15 cents on me,
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy because you called up about it was 2 cents, and then it goes to 15 cents literally the day after you call. So, it was just kind of weird, man. Like, okay, this guy is, I don't know, he's he run a mailing list or what? I mean, what's going on here?
No, man, not me. But I subscribed to a whole bunch of mailers, and I didn't get any alerts for it. All I saw was like a bunch of guys on iHub talking shit about it. Real pumpy, like, So maybe it was like an iHub pump or Twitter. I don't know.
Got it.
Yeah. But then on Friday as well, so I sold that CSOL, and I noticed that a lot of volume and hype was building for this one SLDC.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about it. I'm not familiar with this ticker.
Yeah, I didn't even look into it super deep either. I just saw like a lot of hype was going and the volume was coming in. Apparently, this company's out of Minnesota, and apparently they have a cultivation license and a cultivation facility somewhere. I don't know. The company hasn't released any news, but they just went current with their filings today. So on OTC markets, it went from stop sign to pink current.
Yeah, that's a huge volume bringer too, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And yeah, they've got like a website talking about how they only do organic cannabis cultivation. They only grow in soil. And then I kind of scanned through the filings. it showed the CEO owns 86 point something percent of the outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's kind of calculating the float at 6 million. Me personally, I'm skeptical on that. I'm kind of calling bullshit because I just don't see the thing kind of trading its float, you know, over a 2-day period and not having the price just go absolutely ballistic.
Right.
But the thing gapped pre-market. I sold half my position that I purchased on Friday at like 0.27. But then I reloaded that portion that I took off later in the day at like 0.22 or something. So I don't know, man. I don't know anything about this one, but it seems like a lot of hype's building. Obviously, the fact that it's a cultivator is pretty hot, and despite the fact that the float probably isn't actually 6 million, I'd say it's a pretty low floater anyway. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on it pretty close as well.
Yeah, I would keep an eye on it. I agree with you. It's probably not 6. I do think it's low as hell, though. I mean, 3.5 million, 41% gain. That's got to be pretty low. So I'd say it's at least under 25 million, but it's low. But nice move on it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'd keep a close eye on it too. But 3.5 million in volume and 41% gain. That's nice. That's a nice move.
Yeah, it's not bad. And Delaney showed up on the box on Friday and started shorting. Like, they were soaking everything up on the bid. And then they started selling it off at the end of the day on Friday. And then it looked like they were sort of trying to cover this morning on the bid.
Yeah.
So that was a bit interesting. And just one last point related to the float. I did notice in the filings that they had issued 20 million shares for debt reduction. They had 3 convertible notes outstanding, one from like 2013, one from 2015, and then a more recent one. So maybe some of that's going to start coming out, but the fact that the stop sign was on there means nobody can clear paper anyways. So even if that is aged and the notes have matured and the stock's been issued, you know, you'd think it's going to be at least another week before they can start selling that paper, right? Just going through the compliance and clearing process.
Absolutely, and if they're smart, they're going to want those higher prices to sell them at. So, you know, if you're smart, you hold on to that for some double digits here, and then you sell to the suckers at 10 or 12 or 15. So, you know, we'll see what they do.
Yeah, and I totally agree on that. The only time really that people, it would seem that people don't allow the price to breathe a bit is, say it's like 3 different funders that got paid out stock for the loans that they made to the company, and they're all competing with each other. So they're all like, oh shit, we got to get out, and then it's like a race to the exits, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously in a perfect world, those guys would talk with each other and be like, hey, let's let this thing rip, you know, it's got potential, but yeah, who knows, man? Just thought I'd bring it up because it looks like it's heating up. So
there it is, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah, thank you, man. Have a good one.
You as well. So John Rambo, he says he's not a promoter, but man, I don't know, John. You're getting them right a little bit too often, bro. You're getting them often, you know. I don't know, dude. You're getting them right a little bit too often, man. But you know, some guys, you know, he could be kind of like Ken. He just, you know, keeps his ear to the ground and follows the boards tightly. I mean, you got those guys who are just really good at following certain guys on the boards who, you know, run their mouth. And, you know, if you do a good job of following particular personalities, you can catch some real moves. All right. Absolutely. Yeah, very smart guy. I said it would be better to save money and just write options or just buy options. No, yeah, you want to eventually get to the point where, you know, yeah, you can sell out of the money options. Of course, you always want to get to that level. I mean, sure. You know, but you want to get there anyway, right? You want to get there anyway. But I wouldn't just sit around and not earn money on my money just because you're saving. I mean, you know, trade so you can be, you know, outperforming inflation. BYOC. Shout out to BYOC. That one's still holding. I'm actually, well, you know, you don't see too many stocks like this. All right, came out of those triples, right? Got to a penny, got to 10. We just kind of talked about how, making and hitting those sentimental levels. BYOC now at 12, possibly trying to get 15 again. Flagging pretty nicely. All right, decent volume. You're trading 1 million shares here every day. Not bad. That's another stock Ken brought up. Yes, indeed. You said you found price action is heavily dependent on where it is in relation to earnings. Absolutely. Shirley Lewis, let's take a look at your stock. AGRX. AGRX. Another stock had a falling window. Trying to fill the gap here. Doing a good job of it. Again, another low RSI. Beginning of the year, well, toward the end of the year to be exact. Almost just before Christmas to be accurate. What was that? 190s, 194. Now 383. Yeah, we're in it late. We're in it late. But boy, what a catch to anybody who got in the trade. Nice swing. Nice swing. And again, going to a lower time frame. You guys know I love the hourlies. A clear break from those lower levels was way back here. Here's the falling gap. Here's the move. Here's the break. And pretty much for the most part stood, for trading on an hourly, it doesn't look so pretty. But boy, on that higher time frame, looks a lot pretty on the daily chart. 919 Bats, I think you're back on the air. Is that you?
Yes, I noticed, I guess you asked how weeklies can be traded successfully. Here's something that you can try for yourself. Look at KLDX.
Okay.
I believe it's a gold company. So KLDX has earnings next week on the 14th of March. If my theory is right, it'll trade up to that day. So that's your weekly right there. Moving forward, just come up with a list of, look at primarily the S&P 500 stocks, because that's what I've really studied in depth. Mm-hmm. Any S&P 500 company or NASDAQ 100 company that's reporting earnings next week. And then once you found what companies are announcing earnings next week, look for the low RSI companies. Look for the ones that look like they're just starting to go up, and then trade them up to earnings but sell before that. That's my solution for you on how to trade weeklies accurately. Because I think I called Dries. Dries would have essentially, I don't know if it's optionable, but Dries, when someone brought it up, I mentioned Dries has got dividends, and it had just come off earnings, and I called it, and I said it'll trade up to dividends and then sell off, and that's exactly what it did, and that was within 1 week, and that was even within Dries is not an S&P 500 stock. So my suggestion to you, and just look at a few and see if you actually notice this phenomenon. My hunch is that this is what happens. Look for anything that's announcing earnings next week, preferably an S&P 500 stock. And if it has a reasonably low RSI, so anything from 50 going down, and it's announcing earnings next week, look at that and see where the stock is just before earnings. And I guarantee you, from my perspective, you'll find that your weekly options trades will be a lot more successful. Once again, with the assumption that every time before earnings, the stock tends to trade up towards earnings. So that's what I'll do. Look for anything next week that's announcing, and paper trade weeklies on 5 or 10 of them, and see how many of them actually go up between now and next week. And that's all I have. Thanks, Sal.
There it is. Appreciate you, Bats.
Thank you, Sal. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Bat Scientist. Yeah, earnings is one of those things. It's an every 90-day thing. So right now there are only a few ones that are still out there announcing, but for the most part, Most of the large caps have already announced. Let me see here. There's still a few. In fact, if you go to Earnings Whispers, few big companies still out there. Famous Dave's, Nautilus, some of the companies that announced today. Earningswhispers.com. Again, that's earningswhispers.com. Target, TGT, Target, they announce tomorrow. Target announces tomorrow. So we'll see what Target delivers tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. So yeah, there are a few companies still out there. KLX is the one that he just talked about. Just talked about KLX. A few of them still there. But again, the NVIDIAs, AMDs of the world have already announced. But again, Kroger is out there on... What's Kroger? Kroger's on Thursday. American Eagle. All right, so there are a few of them out there that you guys can definitely trade for at least a day or two. All right. Yes, indeed. So grateful to him. Always, every time Bats is on the phone. Let's keep it going. EBIO. Let's keep it going. EBIO. Nice trade on EBIO. EBI. I don't know. Again, very ugly looking chart. But holding well, right? I mean, again, volume just cracking over 900,000 today. Unusual volume for the stock. Average is only 400, right? We got this is some really, ugly looking movement here. But, look, nice candlestick today with decent volume. Love to see a little bit more here. But EBIO, biotech play. Let me know what the story is. Let me know what the story is. Biotechs, you got to figure out what exactly they're doing. Do have to figure out what exactly they're doing. All right. One moment here. Let me pull up some great alerts we got today. INFI. Did you guys see that move on INFI today? It came middle of the day. When did that alert get seen? That alert dropped. When did that alert happen on INFI? I know you guys saw that. 3:47. That alert came exactly at 3:47. All right, on black box stock. So right around here somewhere. In fact, let me take a nice shorter time frame. Let's go to 1 minute. So 3:47 be right here. Black box stocks, you got the alert, but again, for the most part, here's the 1 minute chart. So as you can see, the meat of the move was in 2 minutes. Not much to get to there. So I didn't take advantage of it. The scanner didn't catch up into any of this for the most part for the whole day, as I believe it was coming out of what was the name of that? Because I recorded. Let me see here. I'll tell you who it was, because they came to me and they said, where did that come from? We were talking about in the background with a young lady by the name of Tia. She works for Black Box Stocks. By the way, yeah, they got some sisters on the company there at Black Box. And Ascend Trading. There it is. Ascend Trading. Ascend Trading came out literally like 2 minutes at the top. And they tweeted, "We just destroyed INFI. We just destroyed INFI." I was like, okay. And they got a big ass chat room. So I have a feeling they could have been behind it. No real news on it. Stock did run, was it a couple days ago? So some people could say, yeah, it could be a squeeze, but again, that squeeze has got to come from new volume. And who would bring new volume better than a chat room? So I have a feeling that they could have been behind that move on INFI, and I don't blame them. I mean, shit, get your money. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? Get your money. That came out exactly at 342. But yeah, like I do see here, the stock guys talk about that big volume bar coming in the morning. And then accumulation, slow accumulation. Like somebody's telling people, hey, get in here, get in here, get in here. And then all of a sudden, boom. Maybe you got a big loader who really gets the traction started. Nice move on INFI. All right. That could be a nice little short tomorrow. But I'm already looking at problems in terms of getting borrows. 355, 357. I was trying to hit it. There was, locating shares. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I already knew what it was. We saw CIE. Reverse split today. CEI, CEI reverse split today. Stock's not trading, but I think it'll go live tomorrow. Should go live tomorrow. CEI reverse split. We didn't talk. We talked a little bit about it again. Pure, just pure momentum all the way, man. Just pure momentum all the way. And again, if you already had it on your scans from Friday, you already know what it is. Is this HMNY? Hell no. I mean, it's probably not going to do a 2 to 35, but it's one to definitely keep an eye on again tomorrow. This is the first time that I've seen since using black box stocks where you have, big gainer one day, very next day, biggest gainer on the market again. All right. It's one of the biggest gainers on Friday. Now you have today led the way with an 82% gain. It actually got to as high as 96%. If you saw it today, our high was $21 for the stock. $21 for the stock. I posted that alert also on Twitter. Alert came out at 9:31. 9:31. And, for this, all I'm doing is the 5-minute chart, 10 moving average. Give me 2 or 3 candlesticks and I'm in. That's it. A nice stop loss keeps me in the trade. All right. Spotify. Yeah, when is Spotify going public again? I don't want to look that up. I don't think I gave a date last time because we didn't get an exact date. But INNT is one to watch tomorrow as well. INNT is one to watch tomorrow as well. 90 on that RSI, so that's why I have a feeling that tomorrow is a sell-off on INNT, but you never know. You never know. I think first 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes of the day, you could get a nice squeeze to some higher levels, maybe 21 and beyond. Who knows? Or a retest of 21. That could be very, very interesting. Raybo, you said Ascend alerted LVVW or LVVV. I wouldn't be surprised. Every time I see Ascend Trading's, markers is always around something that's low float, very rarely traded, and all of a sudden it goes ham, and Ascend Trading is behind it. And then again, when you're in their chat rooms, those decisions are made earlier. So those guys say, hey, we're going to go into this, and then it gets passed on to you. So don't go running into their chat room and trying to join a piece. You're just getting crumbs. You're just getting crumbs. Andrew, that was a 5-minute chart that I had there on INNT. Absolutely. No, I'm done with the pumping stocks thing. I'm done with that, bro. I don't just the stress of having to deal with people following through and all that stuff. The last one I did was PRED, the PRED. That was a nice one, 95 to 347. Got a great return on that. I went pretty heavy into that too. So I'll pump from time to time, you know, but I really don't like doing it because it's really fucking stressful. It is really fucking stressful. People don't realize how fucking stressful that shit is. But Pred was a fun pump, man. That was a really fun pump to see guys who, you know, don't win a lot email me and say, hey, I'm up $900, I'm up $1,000, I'm up $1,200. That was fun. That was fun. Yeah, that's what I feel Pred is going to do. But again, we got too high on the RSI and we just started lagging up there at the threes. So I kind of fucked my own shit up telling everybody to sell, but it was the right thing to do. You know. Thank you, Bill Betts. Appreciate it. Someone's saying, what kind of stocks do I like right now? I like any stock that's up huge in the morning right now. There's not a stock right now that I'm falling in love with. Not one. There's not a single stock right now that I can say I'm smitten by. You know. I put on a nice spread on CAT today though, long term. All right. Put a nice spread on CAT. I got the 160. I got a 160 call on CAT for January 2019, and I also have I think I had like a 140. So trying to figure out what CAT is going to do, and I don't mind because it's been a really nice volatile play, and either we're going to, you know, continue on with this bullish momentum and start retesting highs, or this comes all the way down. And whatever happens, I'm with it. Whatever happens, I'm with it. All right? And it's not about holding all the way. You know, you just find what direction the stock is eventually going to go to. I never let my options, you know, go to zero. Figure out the direction, let the other one go, and then let the rest just, you know, do its thing. Bat, you said watch CAT up until April 24th. Absolutely, I'm watching it. I'm very much watching it. I know exactly what you're seeing, Bats. I see that earnings right around the corner, and that's why I'm playing for that rebound, that 160 call. I think that's a huge potential gain for me that I can sell into earnings, and it'll beat. And I can let it go and then again watch that stock come all the way back down. Come all the way back down. All right. Said Ascend Trading is $80 monthly. Yeah, and they got supposedly over 2,000 people in that chat room. And think about it. I mean, that's quite a bit of money, man. It's quite a bit of money. John Rambo, you said you've been in this game for years. Has made you an animal. That's what's up. BDCI. Let's keep it moving. BDCI, Bahamas. Yeah, you know, this Bahamas Development Corporation, I've seen this ticker for years, man. I've seen this ticker for years. Yeah, you go back all the way back to 2010, and you know, this is a ticker that, I mean, this has been around for a long time. I don't know why the chart is pretty short, but this has been around for a long time, man. Bahamas Development Corp. And supposedly, like, you know, the company wants to build like a whole bunch of hotels and whatnot. I've looked into that company. That's an old one, man. This is an old one. Yeah, you know, they're just too cheap to short, and you don't really know when they're gonna make their moves. They're not the usual, you know, predictable ones. They're not the DTIIs, the SFORs, right? Very unpredictable. The ones you can't really camp in. You can't camp in a stock like that. You really can't camp in a stock like that. You know, there are quite a few stocks out there that you can really kind of camp in because they'll come back. Off the top of my head, like tickers like, you know, BLKG. You know, this is a stock, BLKG. Probably got some huge float right now. They'll probably take care of it, but eventually it'll come back. You know, BLKG, this is kind of one of them. Let me see. Again, I'm just going off the rip right now. Is that sticker still alive? Damn, they're actually moving right now too. Shit. When they start moving again. Nano One Materials. Okay. Alright. Not bad. Nano One Materials. Alright. You know, a few little camping stocks out there that you can. I'll have to get some of that old list back up here and see some of the ones that we used to look at quite regularly. Cafe. What happened to this one? Nope, not that one. Zag. It's an old NASDAQ stock. LRTTF. I know they still in business. Liberty One Lithium. All right, there it goes. This is an oldie but goodie. This is a stock that, you know, if you can catch it at the right time, it could do some things for you. LRTTF, forgot about that one. Let me see. ORGMF. They still in play? ORGMF? They may have changed their name. ORGMF. Those of you guys who remember that one. LXRP, are they still in business? LXRP. Alright. That's NASDAQ. Last bad earnings on CAT was 2016. Yeah, it's a global play. It's very much a global company. Yeah, I'm out of PayPal. I've been out of PayPal. I posted that on Twitter. Been out of PayPal. Been out of PayPal. Here was another earnings. Here's another one that plays right into what Bats was talking about here. You had the earnings. You know, it wasn't even really that bad, but, you know, look, they got punished for it. Stock pulled back, and then, you know, couple weeks ago, you also had the across the board selling. Right, that consolidation in the market. PayPal paid a price for that, being that it had its earnings during the same time. Sure enough, you found a low, and nice return back to the, you know, some mean here. You're up almost $7 from that low of 72. What is that? 71.50, 71.60. Not bad. Not bad on PayPal. All right. Solid return. Yeah, lithium stocks interesting. Commodity stocks in general are interesting, but I hate gold. Yeah, eBay and PayPal broke up. We talked about that on the show. Actually, we had a show surrounding that. ALB. Don't know anything about this company. Let me know about it. 34 on the RSI. Nice candlestick today. Here's another earnings play that was recently. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Bats. ALB. Bats, are you using FinViz? I have a feeling you're using FinViz to pull these up, right? Appreciate you, Ricardo. Press like on this. Press like on this video right now. Bats, I have a feeling. You think Amazon might target PayPal? Well, Amazon came out today and said that they want to open up checking accounts. Did you see that? They're starting to scare me a little bit now, man. Amazon is getting a little bit too big. Did you see how they came out and said they want to open up checking accounts? They're getting a bit too much, man. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. You know what I'm saying? He said, is FinViz like Black Box? No, not even close. FinViz is just it's a data aggregator. I mean, about the markets. That's all. You can buy the pro version. You don't need it. You know. But it's a great for research. The the site itself free is more than enough. More than enough. Oh, Andrew, it's a huge fucking monopoly, man. I don't know. I wouldn't say Walmart. Well, Walmart was a monopoly like 20 years ago, but I don't know if you can call Walmart a monopoly now. In certain communities, yeah, in certain communities. In certain communities, yeah. If you live out in the sticks, hell yeah, Walmart will fucking destroy every mom and pop shop in your damn city, dude. You said 3 years ago Walmart will become Google's worst nightmare. Yeah. Well, something's going to be done about Google and Amazon, man. They're too big, bro. They're both too big. Yeah, and you're starting to hear that voice get louder, where people start saying, "Hey, man, what's going on with these companies? What's going on with these companies? And how they have so much pricing power and dictate what we see and how we experience things." And then I'm reading about how people who work in Amazon say it's like hell. They're on their feet for 14 hours a day and they only get 30-minute breaks. And, you know, people are sleeping in their cars outside the Amazon distribution centers. And they don't really pay them enough and for the work that they've got to do. And how they've got to, like, run from one side of the center all the way to the other side. They've got to, like, run full speed. What type of shit is that? You know? I mean, yeah, I understand. You know, nobody tells you got to go work there, but shit. You know, some people don't have a goddamn choice. GNCA, $1.03. We'll have to wrap up the show in just a bit. Let's just go get some few tickers to wrap things up. All right. And I want to talk about the day's losers. Let's talk about the day's losers, because the day's losers, a week and a half, tend to be some of the big winners in hindsight. DREM, big loser today. Stock lost almost 65% of its value. You know, almost 65% of its value. Boy, that was a real loser today. 30 million shares traded. DERM. Boy, that guy on Twitter, Bagholder Quotes, was having a ball going in on DERM bag holders today. They were all kind of excuses. You can pull up the ticker now on Twitter. They're all, it's going to come back. It's going to do. I mean, boy, 65% of the company's value gone. DERM is the ticker. Dave, you said if you're not fast enough, if you're not fast enough, they fire you. Man, that's crazy, bro. You know, they over there running 40s at Amazon, man. Shit. You said it was back in the day it was Microsoft, now it's Amazon, Google. Yeah, but the difference there, we had a Congress that was willing to do something about it. Now, you know, we don't have a government that's got balls anymore, man. You know, we got government that's scared of business now. You know, in the early 90s, these congressmen weren't scared of business. Now they're scared of business. You said like the NFL Combine, yeah. I was watching. I've been watching the Combine last couple of days now. It's fun to watch a little combine show, you know, especially like the 40-yard dash. And you swear like a guy is running like a 4.3 and it's like 4.66. I'm like, damn, that looked fast to me. It said everyone needs a job, so they'll keep firing people until they get everyone who is willing to hustle. But that's what some of these employers are doing, though, David. It's like they don't give a fuck, man. You know, some of these jobs don't even care. I mean, I'm sure you've all worked a job that your boss didn't care if you quit. They know they can come out and just hire some other, you know, Joe Schmo to come in there and work it, you know. They don't give a damn, man. I've worked those type of jobs where you could tell the man don't give a fuck. I could walk off the job right now. They could give a damn. You know? What was that job? I think I was working at, there was one job I had. I was working at, how was it? I can't remember. Well, it was kind of like this cafeteria place. And I can't remember the name of the business, man. I was literally there for like, I literally worked there. I was working for a month, but I was literally there only a week because I walked in there. I worked like a week. I came back like 3 weeks later. I was basically a no call, no show, and I just showed up and they're like, all right, get back on the line. I was like, what? I was just coming back from my last check, but they was, you know, it was as if nobody knew I was fucking gone. It was crazy. They didn't give a fuck about me, man. Let's keep it going. That's a big loser. FDX. You already know FedEx. Yeah, earnings is around the corner. Bat says, yeah, could it end up going higher into earnings? We'll see. Lennox John, did I get an email about the DVD? If you just sent it today, I didn't see it. I gotta check my box. Well, but Amazon is looking for their new headquarters. They're looking for their new headquarters. I can't remember what they said. I think Atlanta and Virginia right now, the last two. Atlanta and Virginia. Anybody been to Atlanta? They already got enough damn traffic. You know. You said tapping? You see your tapping? I don't hear any tapping. Check out nothing into something. Fuck 'em rollout. V-Cell for tomorrow. Someone's bringing up V-Cell, VCEL for tomorrow. Nice gain today on V-Cell. Nice gain today on V-Cell, VCEL. Nice ticker on that one. Up 41% today on 9.6 million shares traded. VCEL. Nice gain. Nice gain today. 84 on the RSI. What was the story, though? V-Cell stock skyrockets on rocket fourth quarter revenue. Nice move.
Perfect.
I'll give you that. 41% gain on the move. That was actually... Hold on. Did that get caught? Did Black Box catch that shit? Tell me they caught that. Yes, they did. When did they catch that? When did that alert go out? 9/16. So pre-market. 9/16. V-Cell. Okay. I wasn't paying attention to that one, though. Yeah, V-Cell beat earnings. Nice play. Earnings winner. Typically, you'll have a 2-day move in that one. But, boy, what a day, right? I mean, look at that candlestick. That's quite a bit of volatility. So it just could calm down in the morning and then end up squeezing guys who get a little bit too cocky. Watch for the sell-off. Yeah, I would watch for the sell-off, but you could get squeezed here because it is an earnings play. And it's a beat at that. Cloud Peak Energy, CLD. Are we still in here pretty heavy? 83 people are still in here. CLD, 335. Here's another earnings announcement a couple days ago. February 15th. Now looking to bounce all the volume is a little too light, though. Volume is too light. Market cap is too light. Solid PE, though. Trading at just 12 PE. It's a coal company. But again, very much could, coming out of those low RSIs, getting a MACD crossing over here on the daily. Again, let's go to a smaller time frame. All right, smaller time frame showing some kind of recovery building up in here. All right, showing some kind of recovery building up in here. But Bats' strategy that he's been talking about, it's clearly more accurate when he talks about large caps, huge market caps, right? 10 billion plus, I've noticed, that trade with significant volume. I've noticed you've pretty much been spot on, Bats, when you bring that up. DeAndre, okay, I got you, DeAndre. If you sent it today, I'll take a look at it after the show. All right. Few more losers for the day. What's the SMEI? I don't have a ticker for SMEI. I don't have a ticker for that. All right. Another loser, SPA. Here's another loser, SPA Semiconductor stock. Wasn't a very popular stock to begin with. All right. Very unpopular. Only 38,000 shares traded. Huge volume today, but very unpopular stock to begin with. Don't know much about this company. Spartan Corp. Company lost 27% of its value. All right. As Department of Justice blocks transatlantic merger. So it looks like a merger was going to happen between a British defense firm called Ultra Electronics and American Spartan. And it looks like U.S. government antitrust review canceled or denied that merger agreement. Obviously, it looks like they had some defense concerns regarding that situation, and the Department of Justice blocks it. So, huge loss for the company. But that's a pretty huge drop for being denied a merger talk. 919, you're on the air. What's up, man?
Yeah, Bats again. Very short. V-Cell, watch out for this one. This company has a knack for secondary offerings. Watch out. Be careful. I would actually, at this point, just wait and see over the next few days, but just going through it, it looks like these guys like secondary offerings, so just be careful about that. What you can do is, once secondary offerings have been announced, then you can get into V-Cell after that, but be very careful. For a move like this, and V-Cell being a biotech play, I've noticed in the last year and the year before, these guys have had offerings, so just be careful. Thanks, Al.
Thank you. All right, Bat's giving you guys the heads up on that one. SMSI, Smith Micro Software, huge loser today, down 21%. Huge loser, down 21%. Boy, that's, that's a lot of meat for a stock that's trading just under $2 a share. Now $1.69, losing 46 cents today on a private placement. Bats, here's your private placement type stock. Again, the stock wasn't very popular, 47,000 shares, but again, that's that private placement type thing where you're going to get a return from those lower levels after they get that private placement out. People get their paper, and you typically see some dip by a couple days after this. We'll be watching that one. Yes, Artie Buckley, we got that down, that CEI reverse split. All right. TRTC, thank you for bringing that up. I was like, I know there's another marijuana stock I'm forgetting to talk about. TRTC is another marijuana company. Another marijuana company out there. TRTC. All right, that's up huge. Again, market wide, we're starting to see a recovery in a few marijuana stocks. Some of these old Bitcoin stocks. Go to my website. I do have a few Bitcoin stocks. I have a Bitcoin list of Bitcoin penny stocks. FTFT. FTFT is one of those also, again, not incredibly popular right now. But FTFT is one of those Bitcoin stocks. I would really watch this. If you don't have access to OTC markets, all right. If you have a broker that doesn't give you access, or you're not feeling those OTC stocks, and you're looking for something you can play that's trading on the Nasdaq, FTFT is as legitimate, I think, as you can probably get on that kind of exchange. They're all pretty ambiguous in terms of what how truly of a blockchain related company they are. Riot blockchain. You also started seeing a recovery in Riot. All right. Again, Riot blockchain form. This used to be a $44 stock, if you remember. Now finally starting to see kind of some support here in these teens. All right. Riot blockchain. FTFT Riot. I know there's got to be another one. What was Long Island Iced Tea? What did they change their name to? Was it like Long Blockchain or something like that? LBBC, there it is. Long Blockchain. All right, here's Long Blockchain. Again, settling. These are all relatively, decent, low float blockchain stocks. Pay attention to, again, if we start to seeing some real volume come back into some of these older blockchain stocks that are trading on, the larger exchanges. Keep an eye on them. All right. But I think Bats really broke down. If you're looking for some great options trades, he really broke it down for us. But again, I'm loving the fact that our car. I want to put that out there. I wrote it down to talk about our car. Somebody came to my blog today and called me the N-word because I was I shitted on our car. I literally came out with the report, and I think the stock went up another like $2, and then it just dumped afterwards. Our car. I posted that on Twitter too. That was hilarious because it's got his IP address on it and shit like that. That was pretty funny. Our car, huge loser though. That shit's going to zero. That's just another fucking scam. It's a huge scam. Absolutely. Oh, Kodak. Thank you for bringing that up, Kelly Rob. What's that? KODK, right? Yeah, there it is. Kodak. Yeah, Kodak is a blockchain stock, right? They got the Kodak coin. So yeah, that's a blockchain stock. Thank you for bringing that up, Callie. Someone had mentioned PayPal going into. I'd love to see PayPal going into it, but black box stocks they're going. I'm saying we're, but black box is going into crypto, so you're gonna have black box crypto. They're trying to get it by the end of the month, but we'll see whether or not it happens. But it's gonna happen either this month or next month. You got the email, those of you guys who are members, Black Box Crypto. So you're going to be able to get crypto signals, so crypto alerts. That's going to be huge because I'm going to love seeing something like that, especially on the weekends and whatnot, getting crypto alerts. So that should happen either this month or next month. From what I read. But black box crypto, that's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun to see how that works out with cryptocurrencies and how those alerts come down. Bats, you said Kodak is a weekly options play. All right, cool. Yeah, I'd love to see more volume on Kodak options. Kodak options don't trade very well because the volume, it really doesn't trade. It's just very illiquid. Very illiquid. And it's cheap enough to where I would just go straight stock. Stock's this cheap, unless it's like AMD or something like that, you might as well just go ahead and stick to the stock. All right. Okay, let me get out of here in just a minute. AIPT. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. We'll be back again tomorrow to discuss. But like I said, I'm out of the predicting business, man. I'm just trading what happens every single day. I'm out of the predicting business. All right, but I love these swings bats that you brought to us today, man. That's great. That's a great way to trade. Using options to find the bounce on these earnings plays that end up selling into earnings or running into earnings and selling afterwards, then playing the bounce back higher. That's a nice way to look at things. All right, so let me go ahead and ring this bell. Let me go ahead and ring the bell. All right. Appreciate all of you guys as always. Market lost $500 billion going into the week, but we've recovered nicely. We recovered really nicely coming from Wednesday of last week. It was a $500 billion lost, but again, very nice recovery over the last since Friday, Monday. Nice recovery across the board here. That's the Qs, SPY as well. Nice recovery across the board on the ETFs. Are we going to see those highs again? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I again, if you've got the money to do some spreads, get some spreads up, man. Because if we do end up getting back there, I want you to be able to enjoy all of this as we get back. But again, put yourself some downside risk, just in case it doesn't end up being, just in case it just doesn't happen and we end up going lower. I want you to be able to profit down as well. All right. Micro. Let me see. Micron. Oh yes, bats. Micron is another one. Earnings coming up too. That one's March 22nd. Micron is another one coming into earnings, and by the way, that's going to be a beat. That's going to be a beat. They have a huge data center business. Their semiconductors are used in huge data center business. Press the like button. That's going to be a beat right there. In fact, let me look at Earnings Whisper and see how confident people are in that beat. March 22nd. It's going to be at 4 p.m., so it's going to be in after hours. And thought so. 88% analyst expectation that it's going to beat. Yeah, I have no doubt Micron Technology is going to beat. No doubt about it. Huge data center business, and they're just destroying it right now. Company's on fire. Yeah, the RSI is kind of hot though. You're right. I see you, bats. The RSI is kind of hot. All right, you can't put your money everywhere. That's the only thing. I mean, there's so many stocks, so many opportunities. You just can't put your money everywhere. All right, but check out that black box, blackboxtraded.org. Again, not predicting anything, just whatever the alert is. If I like it, 5-minute chart, 3 candlesticks, 2 candlesticks. Sometimes if I really think it's a mover. and 10 moving average, and that's it, man, and a decent stop loss. And we're trying to go along, figure out what the best trade of the day is. All right. Caught it real nicely today, INNT. OBE earnings is when? What was that? What was that earnings? 251, you're on the air.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Anthony, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Hey, I was sitting up here listening to the show when you was talking about how to the folks that's using black box stocks and doing alerts.
Okay.
I was sitting up here thinking, I said, hell, I would pay for it.
Yeah.
if you sent out alerts, shit, that'd keep me, because I mean, if I'm busy doing a date, I get an alert and it's like, hey, check out this stock. You might want to jump in this one.
Yeah,
hell,
I mean, if you don't have anything else to do, it's a great thing. If you're busy during the day, then it might not be for you. But if you don't have any time, and I know you're retired, but I know you still running a business. I know you're running a business. So, but if you didn't have any time at all, but to sit home and trade, it's a great tool.
I mean, I sit up here probably about the first hour when the market opens up, and then I'm using Thinkorswim platform, scanner, and stuff, trying to get familiar with it as well, So, me trying to figure out two scanners, learning out two scanners, that's that's a handful by itself.
Absolutely.
Just learning one, but. Yeah, but if you come up with something like that, yeah, that'll be something I would be interested in doing. I'm pretty sure some other people, that's some of your viewers that's watching, that probably would do the same thing.
Oh yeah, it's already out there. I mean, blackboxtrader.org is my link. You can go through, if you can check it out, learn about it. I got a review up as well. If you just type in Black Box Review here on YouTube, you can check it out as well. And, if it's something you're interested in, great. If not, then it is what it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you won't be doing alerts, though.
No, not me personally. Hell no, I don't have time for that. But, the software does all the work. I just post my gains on Twitter.
Well, I mean, post alerts. That's what I was saying.
Yes. I hear you.
But hell, people just need to donate anyway, hell. To the show.
Appreciate you.
Between you, Bats, and what's the name from New York? Hell, you give good tickets.
Ken, yeah.
You got to just write them down, and like you say, do your homework on them and see what comes out of them.
That's all we ask, man. That's all we ask.
Yeah. But I appreciate the show, man.
Thank you.
Have
Anthony.
a good night.
Appreciate you as well, man. Shout out to Anthony. He did his time, bro. Now he's enjoying his retirement, him and his wife, and still watching my show, man. I'm grateful, bro. I appreciate you very much. When do I use the 1 minute? I never use the 1 minute. I do not use the one. It's just way too many damn candlesticks, man. Way too many signals. I do not use the 1 minute. The 1 minute chart is what so responsible for so many of my early losses, is the 1 minute chart, man. When I look back on, like, at the beginning, when I thought I knew what I was doing, and you realize you don't know anything, the 1 minute chart was hugely responsible for a lot of those losses. 500 here, 600 there, 300 there, 200 there. Because I'm thinking I'm seeing something and I ain't seeing shit. 5 minute, daily, weekly. Yeah, absolutely. Random stock run. I like those. 5 minute and an intraday is just very, very safe. Very, very safe. I love hourly. Yeah, Bats. Love the hourly, man. It's my favorite way to trade. Low RSI or an option stock that's really showing some kind of real recovery. I love the 60-minute chart. It really clears out the bullshit, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. 5 minutes is so much better. All right, so let me get out of here. I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Great day on the markets. Really profitable trading. Again, for you short-term traders, there were quite a few stocks, man. We had, let me count that up. How many tickers do we have today over 20%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tickers today over 20%, man. Over 15%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. 9 tickers. So 6 over 20, 9 over 15% today alone. And that's not even counting the ones that were just over 10%. So incredible volatility today, market-wide. I hope you made some money. Again, that's why it's imperative that you use a great scanner, whether it be what I suggest or your broker's built-in scanner, to find stocks that are moving. Stocks that are moving. And if you have the trades available, a good stop loss, and willing in a small position to open up to take some risk to see how things go. You can position trade in. Start off with something small and then move higher. All right, so let me get up out of here. Where's my it scared me a little bit this weekend. You saw Rick Ross get sick. Man, I was scared to death, man, when Rick Ross, they said this brother was on gosh, what was it? He was on life support. I was like, oh my God, I used this guy's hustling song on my, oh man. Can't let Rick Ross die. Please, Lord, don't take Rick Ross. But it looks like he's doing well, so that was good to see. All right. Said Netflix puts. Yeah, Netflix is a wild one, man. And that IV is high. It's not cheap either. Thank you as always. Shout out to all the people in the chat room watching who watched the whole show. Appreciate you. Bad Scientist, I appreciate you. John Rambo. All the people in the chat room. JT the Poolhead Trader. Big Boy Caprice. Raybo, Florida. Yeah, MU didn't do shit last year. You're absolutely right. Something turned around in the business, man. Cool Cats, I appreciate you, man. He said all lost all that weight. They said he was going to die. Joe Kraft, thank you, man. Hey, Joe, what's going on, man? You used to chat a lot more, bro. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm glad you're watching, but Corey Kwan, beam in. Appreciate you, man. Who else is in here? Joe Johnny, Legendary Eights, Shirley Lewis, Callie Robb, Ghetto Investor, Londell Carter. Who else is in here, man? He said too many kids doing homework. Okay, cool. I appreciate you, Joel. Thank you, man. David, thank you, man. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Gucci, peace out. I'll see you guys back here same time, same place tomorrow. Andrew, have a good night, man. Take care, everyone.